Hello? I think it's better now. Can you hear me? Okay. Don't hear an echo? Maybe it's only there. Okay. So, some difficulties. Yeah, I was watching Marcel's tip last time, so I adjusted some settings for the video. Hopefully it's full HD now. Maybe it's 720 again, I don't know. Then I will hear it. Yeah, welcome all. I'm Martin van Urk, developer at Two Solar Software. We're building a SaaS product about energy transition to speed it up. Quite a journey. I want to welcome you all to the second part of this stream. Yeah, if you have any feedback, any questions when coding, then we probably heard it in the chat. Yeah, as I said the last time, we all made this list of nice features of the recipe book, and the last time I closed it with talking about a shortcut. It's like a Scrum board, but for free, so it is nice. When we look at shortcut, and one moment please. So back again. When we look at the pricing of shortcut, you can see it's free for a team, free for small software teams. So it's very nice stuff when you're working alone or together at a project or a side project. Okay, should be better now. So you get all the features like Slack integrations, Figma, GitHub stuff, and it's very nice to take track of your project. You can use it with one team, 1 to 10 users, so you can always give it a try. Like I said, I created some stories about the first one we probably start today is the simple recipe management. When we open it, it's just a simple description. The cook want to add, modify, delete and read the recipes. It can become handy if he can search the recipes as well. And when we finish this ticket, we probably get an MVP version of the recipe book. So what I want to add in this story is you can add the title, short description, long description, the tools you need to use, the ingredients, the steps to make the recipe, the time to make and the time to wait, the difficulty, and the amount of the recipe. So is it 2 plates, 1 plate, 1 liter soup, different measurements, and you want a list with some buttons to manage them. Okay. The second story I created is what is a recipe without photos. So in this second story we want to sell the recipes with beautiful photos, of course. So we want to add photos to the dishes and to the recipes, and we can probably add some other attachments. So yeah, thinking about some documentation. Let's say you have one step in the recipe that you need to add some meal. You need to add some ingredients. So by saving other attachment like how those ingredients are made, you can enrich the recipe even further, I think. And the third one is enrich the recipe management. So you can add more information like allergies, nutritions, the categories, notes, commands, tags, like we said. Is it a dessert or a starter or an amuse, stuff like that. I think it's very nice to add those as well, but not for the MVP. The first thing we start for the MVP is getting some recipes, and hopefully the stream is okay. YouTube Studio is giving me warnings about the bitrate, but hopefully it's okay. Let's start it. Like I said, Shortcut is free. You have a lot of stuff in here, so you can choose about workflows, the state. It's currently on the backlog. It's okay. The backlog is just a column in our grid, so you can choose different projects. You can epics. You can put it in an iteration like a sprint, and then you can say how long the sprint has to be, the type of the story, the requester, the owner, the estimation. So you can story point if you want, the due date, the followers, custom fields. It's a very nice project as well, to give it a try. I want to shout out to Lara streamers as well. It's a great platform to give some exposure to your streams. It's for me quite handy because I'm just starting with streaming stuff, and getting some exposure is quite nice. So as you can see, the most Laravel gurus has some streams in it. So Nuno Maduro, Merkel Diranda, Laracon Online, Gert-Jan in the chat as well. So nice to have you all. And I'm at Lara streamers as well with the last stream, and probably with this stream as well. So let's start with this nice story. Maybe I need some alteration, so let's create some other lanes in progress. Okay, after in progress it needs to be tested. And we need some release. Okay, speaking about it, releasing stuff. Let's first get back to the projects and then the recipe book. So we probably can move this up to the where am I? stories, yeah, to the in progress lane. No, not yet. I need to figure it out, but let's start with setting the timer for yeah, let's say it's simple recipe management. Okay, it's for the stream with no tag. Okay, start the timer. In our company to Solar, it's very common to have some timer running, so we can measure the time for the story points. It's not linked to each other, but we get some nice feedback about projects and the iterations we are going through. Another thing I like to share is that, as requested, as you can see, we have some Git set up for the recipe book. When you go to my GitHub, you can find the recipe book now as a public project. I pushed yesterday all the code, so just the init version, because we didn't do any coding together yet. So we probably go to push all the code to it and getting some nice open source package. I think it's yeah, can be used a lot. I get some question already, so when it's will be finished, so they can use it. But no worry, we just want to start coding together and getting familiar with the streaming and stuff. So as you can see, we are at the main branch now, so getting pulled the latest code, it's already in it. So first of all, we want to create a new branch, and we call it like our number of the ticket, it's 104, so recipe book 104 simple recipe management. Okay, why it's not valid? Do I need to adjust some settings at my GitHub? Let's take a look. Branches, main is protected probably. You haven't any protected of, okay. Because of the spaces. Yeah, probably we can give it a try without the spaces. Yeah, okay. That's weird, it's only for GitHub, because we are using GitLab in our company, and I thought they can allow white spaces. Or maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so we have checked out our new branch. Another thing I want to show to you is this week I've enabled Laravel ID. It's very nice to have when you're building Laravel code. You can set up a lot of stuff. If you are only using it for code completion, it's very nice already, but yeah, it's so nice. It's you can probably see the code and working when we are coding along, but it saves so much time. I think it's quite nice. To give it a try, it's 30 days free, and after that you pay a small amount every month or every year that you want to be built. I think it really speed up some coding. So the first thing I want to mention is I was thinking about some Elasticsearch functionality, so you can quickly search and filter all the recipes, all the tags, all the ingredients, nutrition, stuff like that. I think because we are having a lot of stuff in our database, I think we need to get some results quick when you filter or search. For that I want to use Miley Search. Miley Search is some Laravel Scout driver you can use, and it's open source. So let's open the Miley Search page so I can give you a look at it. mileysearch.com. Okay. It's lightning fast, it's plug and play, flexible, it is typo tolerant, so like you can see it's here Mussolini, so if you search for Mussolini or Miso, or was it Mussolini, you can see all the Mussolinis, and it's very fast as well. So when we use Miley Search, first of all we need to set it up. So it's a Docker instance, you can run it wherever you want, but I used it in Docker. So let me remove the old stuff. So as you can see in my Docker, I have a takeout MySQL instance, and let's run that as well because we need a database in a moment. And when you get into the code a little, I'm starting my terminal like you can see here. So recipe book, as you can see we are getting the results of the branch in GitHub. So what I want to show you is takeout. Takeout is a package from Titan. Matt Stauffer and his team worked on it, and you can easily spin up Docker images for a lot of services. So when I open the services list, there are a lot of stuff. So Base-Server, Beanstalk, ClickHouse, CouchDB, Dynamo, our Miley Search, MySQL, MongoDB, Solar. Yeah, it's very handy when you're building your development machine. So to build Miley Search, let's get into the terminal. You need to run, because I'm quite messed up my global composer, I'm running it here. So in the vendor map you have a bin, and there is your takeout folder, and you want to enable Miley Search. So it's takeout enable, and then the list of services you want to install. Because we only want to install Miley Search now, it's asking which port. So let's get that default, which tag. Last week I was giving it a try, and yeah, it's very weird, but I get version 24 and 29 was the new one, so I'm choosing here version 0.29. The Docker volume name can be Miley Data. Yeah, this is quite nice feature as well. If you do enable, you'll get some menu where you can hover all the services and enable it. So that's quite nice as well. Okay, scrolling some. Okay, I want to scroll. It doesn't allow me to scroll. So let's do it again. We disable this one. When installing Miley Search, probably not gonna install now the latest version. Let's take a look in Docker. No, as you can see, it's 24 now, so you definitely need some version when installing it. So again, version 0.29, and it's the default Docker. As Gert-Jan already mentioned, it gives some output. For Miley Search, you get some API key. They call it master key, so you'll need to copy this key, and we probably need to store it in our environment file. So let's put it in here. And okay, it is installed, so we can get rid of that. And after that, we will open the docs for Laravel Scout. Because it's a Scout driver, we need some steps to do. Laravel Scout is nice as well. Laravel Scout. As you can see, we need some requirement of the Laravel Scout. Now it's already in it, so we don't need to do that. We need to install the HTTP factory guzzle as well, because we want to use the Miley Search driver. We are installing some guzzle pipes between them. Okay, and we need some driver stuff. So as you can see, the Scout driver we want to set to Miley Search. The Miley Search host is the local host because we are in Docker, the default port, and the master key. So when we want to have the master key, we put it in there. So, and we continue to set it up. For Miley Search, it's all. So when we go up, it's very easy to make your model searchable. You just put on the searchable trait, and after that you probably can go, but I recommend to use the searchable as, and what this does, it returns the key where Miley Search can search into. So to keep it somehow separated between all the different search locations, you can set it as the index. So how can you open Miley Search? When you are in Docker, you have some icons here, like you saw me starting the container. and deleting the container, you also have opening browser. So as you can see, this is my resource. We are installed 29. We can search it. We can select the indexes like we talk about in here. All the indexes are in the drop down. You can set an API key, getting the documentation, and it's quite a small mini dashboard. So yeah, we want to use it for our recipes first. Okay, let's bring some code generation, and we want to make a model. Create a model. Okay. As you can see, I'm using the Laravel ID. You can use Artisan as well in the command line, but Laravel ID gives some extra benefits. Like you can see, we want some recipe model. We need some migration. We need a controller, but not the normal controller. I want to set up some resource controller. I have an idea. I was thinking about an idea because I'm a backend developer. I want to get some interaction with you guys and set up some API stuff. So I want to give you some API documentation where you can list all the recipes. You can add, delete, modify, all the stuff I'm building here. And the next time when the API is finished, I want some collaboration in this stream and build the front end. So I want to learn from you how you can build the front end. So reach out to me and I will give you some invitation next time so we can build it together. I want to learn the front end stuff because I'm just focusing now on my backend work. So I think we can benefit from it all. We got a nice front end as well, and I can learn from you and you can get some fun as well. So that's why I'm not currently checking the controller. I want to add a resource controller. Some seeder, I think we have not needed. And the policy we already, we not need it now. Okay, so let's create it. As you can see, it's asking me to add files to Git. I doesn't want to do that right now. Okay, and we got some nice migration with a lot of boilerplate as well. And that's what I like at Laravel ID. You doesn't have to type all this stuff when you're creating some migration or some controller or any other boilerplating. It will show. Let's start. We need some text. And as you can see, I only have to type text. I don't have to type table, text, table, integer, stuff like that. It is just typing the kind of column you want. And as you can see, Laravel ID gives you the code completion you want to add. Welcome, Samuel. Happy to have you here. So the first thing we want to do is some title. Straightforward. The second thing, let's open the ticket again. So we want the title, short description, long description, a list of tools, ingredients. So as a first step, I think we can just give some tools as a text field and ingredients, and later on we want to refactor it to something like nice auto completion and yeah, one to many to many relation. Yeah, so first of all, let's start quite small. Yeah, it's a good thing. Gert-Jan mentioned to be at the varchar. Is that a small text, I think, or just varchar? Okay. If you don't know, let's say you started with Laravel and you don't know what to type in here, you can always take a look at the blueprint. Okay, I've installed the newest Paystorm, so it has some handy stuff. When you press Command R, you can see all the function in it. So it's a lot of stuff, but you can see tiny int, small int. Yeah, you can see the boilerplate, the blueprint of the table. Okay. The title is a string, the short description can be a text, the long description can be a text. Then we want to add the tools. Like I said, I will put it in comments, refactor this later to different tables. I think the text can be nice for the tools and for the ingredients. And then we have the time to make. I think it's a small integer, but we can have minutes, you can have hours, days maybe, if you get some low and slow cooking. So I think we need a duration and a duration type. So the duration can be a small integer. And we need a duration type. As you can see, I'm typing the table variable. I used to install Laravel ID, so I need to become common with it. We can store the, I think as an enum it can be quite nice. So we name it duration type, and I think the second parameter is the different choices. Yeah, so the first is the column name and the second is an array which values are allowed. So is there any chance we need some seconds? So I'm working 10 seconds of this recipe. It takes 10 seconds to create this recipe. Maybe some microwave dish, but let's start with minutes, hours, and days. If you have any recommendations, please let me know in the chat, and then I can add it as well. Okay. The other thing we saw in our story is time to make and time to wait. So the duration needs some duration. duration make duration to make. Gert-Jan, one downside to this is that we debug package cannot build a change query for updating an enum column. Okay, that's a good one. Let's take a look together. The package I want to use is the query builder of Spatie. Let's see, sorting, selecting. Are there new values? No. Okay. You have nothing with enum updating. No. Okay. Yeah, let's start with some enum, and after that we always can refactor to use the Spatie package afterwards. Samuel, how about store the duration in seconds always and do the conversions? What about storing in minutes? Because seconds aren't that common when creating some recipes. Gert-Jan, I mean when you make a new migration to change an option of that enum, you need that debug package, but that doesn't work on enum columns. Okay. Okay. Yeah. What we can do is creating a new model and name it duration types. You can have some controller later on. The seeder is quite handy, I think. But on the other side, I think Samuel can have some good point. If you always store the duration in minutes or seconds or any other duration type, you always can do the conversions and get rid of the whole column. I think you mean, Samuel. As I understand you, so you can get rid of the duration type column, right? I think that can become handy as well, so let's do it like this. Only taking one column to duration to make, and we always save it in minutes. And we do have a column duration to wait. So when baking a cake, you'll need to wait some half an hour, maybe an hour. So we need that as well. Then we have the small integer to have some difficulties. So how hard is it to make the dish or the recipe? And what do we have more difficulty, and the amount of recipe. So is it one plate? Is it 1 liter? Okay, yeah. And we can do that as we want to for the duration. So the how do they call that? When we look at some recipe sites, prep time, servings. Yeah, I think that's a good name for it. Servings. Then we need another table to have the serving types. Okay, let's change this as well, the cedar. So we have the model, we have the cedar, but we need some or did we create it already? Database migration. Yeah. So serving types, and we just want to have the name and probably some language. Or we can store it English right away and make use of the translation tools in Laravel to get some Dutch serving types, some Spanish serving types. I think that's a quite common approach to store all the English strings as the keys. And when creating the front end, we always can translate it. Okay. Yeah, I'm quite not so fancy as Christoph Rumpel this afternoon by bringing up some comments, so I'm reading them out loud. Dever, welcome at the stream. You will need to use the raw statements if you want to change columns. Okay, yeah, that is quite some handy tip from the chat to get rid of enum columns, because it's not worth all the hassle around it when you need to update something. Yeah, storing it in seconds is more accessible. I don't mind if it's in the correct duration for the selected type. Okay. I wonder what pin does with the model names. Normally the names are singular and start with the uppercase per word and connected without a lower dash. So Laravel pinned. I think you are all familiar with the newest Laravel versions. I think since Laravel 9 it's shipping with Laravel pinned. So when you running pinned with preset PSR12, you can create a pinned config if you want. The preset is not found. Is it like this? Okay, let's run it. Okay. And then get some model names like the serving types. refactor this name as well. Serving type, extends model, okay. I think it will be better now. Yeah, serving type, it's singular now. Recipe, okay. Yeah. Okay. So we have some more like serving type. Yeah, as you say, I think it's nicer as well. So let's refactor it once more. Okay. Okay, where we are, the recipes. We have some title, short description, long description, duration to make, duration to wait, the difficulties, the servings, and then we have the foreign key is called, I think, and the column is serving type. I don't know if you are familiar with the foreign ID, but it will automatically get some column definition for the serving type at this moment. So it will automatically add some serving type ID. It will add some indexes, I thought, but we can check that in a moment. Serving type, okay. We have some model for the serving type. There is also on where you can give the class like the model class. Okay, like this, serving type class. Does it work like this, Gert-Jan? I'm currently working on a legacy project, so I'm not working in Laravel that much at this moment. But let's see what it does. Foreign 4, okay. We need some serving types with the name. We need to refactor this serving types table. Okay, then change this for ID 4 probably, and I think we can leave it at that because we doesn't use the migrations that much. So like I said earlier, this stream we have some MySQL running, so we can use that to get some information. It's Docker localhost, creating some new database, recipe book. Okay, let's open it, and we go to the environment file, MySQL. I thought I ran it on another port. I think it's in Docker as well. Okay, like the Nokia. Wait, did you check that when you run Artisan Migrate? It can also do this for you. Really nice they added this. Like the setting up the DB connection, you mean, Gert-Jan? I don't know exactly what Gert-Jan means, but let's run the migrations. Okay. And as we probably see now, we have some recipes and we have some serving types. It's just an ID with a name at this moment. And we do have the common Laravel tables as well, like the field jobs. So if you want to run a queue runner, passwords, personal access tokens, and the users. So we got some database running, we got some models. Let's create some seeders for the serving types. Where are they? Yeah. We need to refactor this to serving type seeder. Let's make them singular as well. Serving type seeder. What do you think about those new inline ints from the new PHP Storm? Inlay hints they call it. I'm very curious if you like it or not. So let's do like the let's do a small poll. I'm very curious what you think about it. If my YouTube is working, my YouTube studio. Okay, running seeders. Let's get some documentation. Laravel database seeders. I don't know if you see the poll already, but it's keep loading in my studio now. So writing seeders. Okay, so you can create it with the artisan make commando. We use Laravel ID, and it just runs some database queries, database statements, like you want to say it, or you can use the factory of it. So I'm probably going for the factory because the factory you can reuse in your test, for example. So when you need to spin up 10 recipes for your test, you can easily run the factory within your test folder. So first of all, let's start with some factories. We only use a user factory now, so as you can see, it's a user factory which extends the default factory. You can define some definition, so every time the factory is called, it will return the definition of it, and you can use the faker within the definition, so that is quite nice as well. So let's create some factory. The factory class name is serving type factory. Like you can see, you don't have to add those class suffixes, it's automatically adding them. And the eloquent model is like you can see here, serving type. if it's displayed like this, I will remove it. A bit too much in your face. I think you mean the inlay ins, right? I saw it today for first time, and let's sink it in for some couple of days, and I probably think I want to get rid of it. But that's my first opinion now, after working with one day with it. So the model is serving type, and that's quite nice of Laravel ID. It will get your full namespace, so that's quite handy as well. Do we want to include nullable fields? Yeah, we don't have them, so not at this moment. So the definition, we want a name, and we use faker, and we said that we want to use the language. How do we call that? Laravel faker set country code, set local, I think. Faker local. Can we set it right away within our code? App faker local. Okay. It's probably some environment variable or some config in the app. Environment production debug, URL time zone local, fallback local, faker local. Okay, it's English US, so that's okay for me now. We can use faker, but I think it's probably better to use a random choice, random element from an array we are defining. So it's the serving type. So okay, Samuel, happy to join, happy to have you here. Maybe you can press the like button if you like the stream. Yeah, peace. Blade liter. What kind of serving types we do have? Yeah, I think this can be enough for now. Okay, so we have some serving type factory. Then we can go back to our seeders and just run the seeder like we saw in our database seeder documentation. So I think this can be quite handy as well. If you want to run your seeder, you can actually run it in a singular run on your artist command in your command line interface, or you can run it with the database seeder class, where you can just add the class name, as we're going to try in a minute. First of all, we need the factory. It's the serving type factory. Factory for model. Just factory. And we need the model, of course. Serving type model, factory, and then we can say create 10 names of it. If we need 10, we can not use the random element. So it's not live code, so let's create some random name of it, and we want 10 of them, and we can create like this. So this seeder we want to add in the database seeder, as I mentioned before. You can get rid of the boilerplate and just run the serving type seeder. Or the class, it's an array. And we want to run the serving type seeder class. Okay. Every time you are gonna run the seeders, it will call all those seeders, and probably behind the hood they use the pipeline functionality in Laravel. If you're not familiar with the pipeline technique in Laravel, I can highly recommend to take it, to give it a look. I think you can use it a lot in your Laravel. For example, in Laravel itself it is used in the middleware, so pushing all those pushing the request through all the middleware you are defining. Yeah, I can open an article of it, a Laravel pipeline. So it's quite a nice website. Earlier on it was loading better. Let's find another one. So let's find this. Okay. As you can see, you are opening the pipeline class of Laravel. You are sending some object through the different classes you are defining here, and then you can return the object, and those classes returning the next variable with the request in it. So it will pass it through all the layers you are defining. So that's quite a nice technique, and it's probably behind this call as well. So okay, now we have the serving types here. We can create some new factory as well, because we want to have a recipe factory. Okay, like you can see where it is now. Here it is. Like you can see, Laravel ID gives some int now, because we have created some database definitions. It automatically can generate the eloquent helper code. So after generating it, I saw a tutorial you can automatically import them in here, but create maybe if you get rid of this factory and generate it again, recipe factory. Yeah. So when creating your migrations, you when you run the generate helper code, and after that you are creating your factory, it automatically will throw something in your definition, and you can easily tweak those things you want to what you want to modify when it's not okay for you. So let's take a look. The title can be a sentence, short description, long description. Maybe do we have some, so sentence 2, and the long description is 4. Tools, words, 5 ingredients. So let's create 5 ingredients of it. Duration to make, random number. Okay, to wait, it can be a random number as well. Can we define the scope of this number between? Yes, because we want the difficulties between 1 and 5, when 1 is easy and 5 is difficult. The servings, it can be a random number, and the serving type ID. That can be a random number. Some question for the chat. Do you know Faker can get some serving type IDs and choose one of them? So I know you can do in the factories that you want have the serving type created as well. Yeah, I will take a look into that. For now, it can be a random number for the serving type ID. Okay, Gertjan, when you go to the model class, there is also a Laravel logo there. It's easy to jump to the factory. So when you are here, you can jump it, yeah, to the factory and the migrations, and probably to the controller as well later on. Okay, now we have some seeders and some factories. Let's create. I want to show my research like we set it up earlier. So the model, we need to give the searchable. No users found. Let's take it a look. Use searchable from Scout. Do I need to install Scout? Probably. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's Scout. Then we can use probably the use searchable from Scout. Okay, and as you can see, and as we spoken about, we can use the searchable as. It's the index associated with the model, so it will probably have the recipe index. So we now want to make some recipes. So let's create some get with fake, and run the factory. So like we did before in our seeder, we want a recipe factory and create 10,000 of them in our database. So actually I fixed it the previous stream last week. I tried to open the app in Valet, but it wasn't open it and give us a 404 that he can't find. For those streams I created a new folder to get some so I get the split between streaming projects and the stuff I'm working on, and I need to run Valet Park in it before I can use Valet Open. So as you can see now, it's opening a Laravel website. So that's a tip I want to give. And running the fake, it will create 10,000 recipes, but not today. Let's see, call to undefined method, app models recipe factory. So when we go to our seeder, it's the model factory and then count it. Okay, so why it's not working in here? It's the model factory and count and then create it. So that's the model. Factory. Okay, we need to use as factory trait as well. Okay, yeah, that will do it. Okay, array to string conversion. It probably has to do something with it. So what kind of is this returning? I think none of them returns an array. Okay, let's see the DB model. It's probably DB show. So DB show. DB show is for the database. I want a table, so a DB table. We probably have to give it some name. Table, the name of the table. Okay. I want to have I want to see the recipe. Recipes. Okay. It's a tool you can use with the latest Laravel installations. So you can inspect the table and database right from your CLI. So it's all quite nice, like we set it up. So I find it quite weird that we get some array to string conversion in it. Maybe you can see already what I did wrong. I'd like to hear from you. Can it be something with the return type of this? So we need to return finished. Some of the faker functions give an array back. Yeah, I checked that, Gert-Jan, but this will return a string. Words is returning a string as well. Random number is giving an int. Number between, it's giving an int. So try a raw function within the factory, you mean? Okay. We need to dump it, of course. It's a sentence. Array or string. And we need to pass probably as text as true. Okay. Didn't know about the raw function, so it's nice. Probably just need as text as well. Okay. Okay. Give it a shot. Out of range duration to make at row 1. Yeah, we definitely want to have some small ints. Random number between okay. Hopefully it is now populating our database. Not yet. Okay, it's populating on my research right away. So that's nice. As you can see, it's running. It's running not that fast, but as you can see, it's contains now the recipe index and it's the key we defined in a model that gives us a 504. Yeah, that isn't that bad. So I want to show my research. It's populating around 1000 recipes now for us. So like you see, it's populating all the fields straight away. For example, if we are looking for omnis, we get all the recipes with omnis in it. It's blazing fast, as you can see. So if you are searching for some Elasticsearch functionality, give my research a try. You probably want to discuss it right away when we are going further in it, like creating the different listing and forms. You can probably see it in its full filterable, searchable. So that's nice. That can be closed. Scout we are can be closed as well. So yeah, I think we started off nicely. To be honest, not as far as I hoped to be, but that gives us room for some next stream, I think. So yeah, I'd like to hear what you find of this stream. Is it, for example, 7:20 now, or is it full a day already? I really like to know. Yeah, first of all, I want to thank you all to join the stream. I think it's quite a journey. I want to give as much tips and nice techniques as possible, but I want to be interactive as well. So yeah, if you like the stream, give it a nice thumbs up, and if you already if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, and I will give an update when we are streaming again. Marcel says it's okay for the day now. It's nice. Thank you all, and see you next time.